the English story that will make you believe in miracles. Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak in English. I'm so excited you're here today because I'm about to share a story that will make you believe in miracles. Yes, you heard me right. There's a famous quote by Albert Einstein that goes, "There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle." And today, I'm going to tell you a story that shows just how powerful and true that second choice can be. So, grab a seat, take a deep breath, and let's dive into a story that will leave you with a renewed sense of wonder and hope. Ready? Let's go. Our story begins in a small village, nestled in the hills of England. It's a quiet place, where life moves slowly and everyone knows everyone else. In this village lived a woman named Clara. Clara was a kind soul, always helping her neighbors, offering a smile to anyone who passed by. But despite her warm heart, Clara's life had been filled with struggles. She had lost her parents when she was young, and growing up, things had never been easy. She worked long hours as a seamstress, barely scraping by to make ends meet. But no matter how hard she worked, it seemed like something was always missing. Her dreams of a better life felt just out of reach. One thing Clara had always wanted was a child. She dreamt of becoming a mother, but after years of trying, she had been told by doctors that it was unlikely she would ever conceive. She was devastated. Still, Clara remained hopeful. She never gave up on her dream of having a family. One afternoon, Clara received news that shook her world. After a series of tests, the doctor told her that it was highly unlikely she would ever be able to have children. Clara was heartbroken, but not defeated. She had spent years hoping, praying, and trying. But now it felt like a dream that would never come true. She walked out of the clinic that day feeling like she had lost a part of herself. She knew life had been hard, but this was a pain she didn't know how to overcome. Still, Clara didn't give up. She spent the next few months focusing on her work and the people she loved, but the idea of motherhood never left her heart. One night, as she sat by the fire, she remembered a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. "When I despair, I remember that all through history, the way of truth and love has always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they can seem invincible, but in the end, they always fall. Think of it, always." Clara clung to these words. She believed in the power of love and truth, and she knew that her journey wasn't over yet. Months passed, and life continued. But one day, something truly unexpected happened. Clara was walking through the village when she saw an old man sitting on a bench by the river. He had a weathered face, a long gray beard, and a cane beside him. What caught Clara's attention wasn't his appearance, but the serene expression on his face, as if he had seen things most people couldn't even imagine. The man smiled at her as she passed by. Clara, feeling an odd pull, stopped and asked if he needed help. The man looked at her, his eyes twinkling. "No, my dear. I'm just here waiting for the right person to come by." Clara was puzzled but smiled and continued on her way. But that evening, as she sat by the fire again, she couldn't shake the memory of that encounter. She wondered who the man was and why he had made such an impression on her. The next day, Clara received a letter, and inside was a message that would change her life forever. It was from the mysterious man she had met by the river. In the letter, he introduced himself as Elias, a traveler who had lived many lives, seen many things, and had a gift for helping people find what they had lost. Elias's letter spoke of Clara's dream, her struggle, and her deep desire for a child. He wrote, "I see the love in your heart, Clara, and I see the path you must take. Go to the old oak tree by the hill at dawn tomorrow, and you will find what you seek." Clara was stunned. How could this stranger know so much about her? But there was something about his words that felt true. With a sense of awe and disbelief, Clara decided to go to the oak tree the next morning. The next morning, Clara arrived at the old oak tree just as the sun began to rise. The air was crisp, and the world felt quiet and still. She stood there for a moment, unsure of what would happen, and then a miracle occurred. At the base of the oak tree, Clara found a small, wooden box. Inside, there was a delicate necklace with a pendant shaped like a heart. As Clara picked it up, she felt a warmth spread through her body, and for the first time in months, she felt a sense of peace. The pendant wasn't just a piece of jewelry, it was a symbol. It was a symbol of the love she had been waiting for, the love that would come into her life in a way she had never expected. Clara, overwhelmed by emotion, realized that this wasn't just a gift. It was the beginning of a new chapter in her life, a chapter filled with hope, love, and the miracle she had been longing for. A few days later, Clara met Elias again, this time in the village square. He was sitting quietly, as if he had been waiting for her. When Clara approached, he looked up at her and smiled. "I see you found the gift," he said. Clara, still in shock, asked him how he knew about her struggles, her dreams. Elias simply replied, "I've been sent to guide you, to remind you that miracles are real. You may not always see them in the way you expect, but they are always around you." And then, with a knowing smile, he revealed something that left Clara speechless. The pendant she had found by the oak tree was no ordinary object. It had the power to connect people, to bring them together. But it wasn't just about the pendant. It was about Clara's belief. The belief that miracles are real, that love can find its way into the most unexpected places. Months passed, and something incredible happened. Clara, who had once thought she would never be able to have children, discovered that she was pregnant. It was a miracle, not just in the way it happened, but in the way Clara had transformed. She had started to believe that life could still surprise her, that her dreams could come true, even when all seemed lost. As Steve Jobs once said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." Clara had dared to believe in the impossible, and it had changed everything. So, what's the lesson here? It's simple. Miracles are real. They may not always look the way we expect, but they happen when we least expect them. Clara's story is a reminder that no matter how hard life gets, there is always room for hope, for belief, and for love. As Albert Einstein said, there are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. If you're struggling with something right now, remember this. Miracles happen when you believe in them. I hope Clara's story inspired you to believe in the miracles that can happen in your own life. If this story touched you, please hit that like button, share it with someone who needs a little hope, and don't forget to subscribe to Speak in English for more stories that remind us to believe in the impossible. In the comments below, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a miracle in your life? Let's talk about it. Thanks for watching, and remember, miracles are all around us.